When you see these Trump conferences at night and you see him on stage with Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx, and Trump is trying to get his head around this, and he's making gut decisions like, we got to get this economy back. People are, they're losing their generational wealth, and yet I'm being told this one thing and told this other thing. Like, what do you see of the dynamic up there? And if you were Trump, what would you do?
Well, if I was Trump, if I was President Trump, the thing is that I have a knowledge base that President Trump doesn't. And the problem with most people in high power is that they're surrounded by idiots, by criminals, by people that have an agenda that is not going to serve the people. That's the reason that people have been threatened, or the hierarchy has been threatened by President Trump, because he wasn't controllable. Okay, he wasn't installed in as a puppet master like Hillary would have been. And this is his biggest issue, is that he hasn't had anybody. He's been sabotaged from the get-go. So President Trump needs to surround himself with people that truly know what the truth is and to support him. President Trump, when people said, Dr. Buttar, please get your message to President Trump, I don't have any direct connection to President Trump, but I will tell you this. I believe that President Trump already knows. I believe that President Trump knows this because from his platform before he got elected, he talked about the relationship between vaccines and autism. I believe that President Trump knows what's going on because he was very cavalier about COVID-19, and he pushed for the public to go back to work by Easter. You remember that? Right? Yeah. He's talked about it. So he knows the truth. I think his problem is he's got all these people talking in his ears, and he's being controlled by the media. It's pressure. It's political parties. He's having to deal with a lot of other crap. But if I was President Trump with my knowledge base, or if I had President Trump here for 5 minutes, I would tell President Trump, do what your instinct has been telling you all along and open up the economy and investigate Bill Gates and just investigate him and all his tentacles. They just got hacked, and they found Bill Gates Foundation got hacked, and the CDC and the WHO and all this stuff. And of course, now they're going to probably try to go after the hackers and try to make them criminals. Why not go after the criminals? The hackers, like going after Snowden, I never understood that. Snowden exposed the truth, okay? And instead of going after Snowden, instead of going after the real culprits that he divulged, they're going after Snowden. Or Hillary Clinton's emails. They divert. Again, this whole diversion. Somebody broke the law to get into Hillary Clinton's emails. Why not look at the stuff that she's been breaking the law about? That's what the whole reason was. To go after the whistleblowers is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It's, again, the diversion, and it's the media that propagates that. Because they could truly say, they could give an unbiased thing and say, okay, the hacker broke the law, but the hacker broke the law because he wanted to make sure that people didn't die unnecessarily. And here's what he exposed. But no, they just want to talk about the hacker, the hacker, the hacker. Media has to be revamped. They have to be held accountable, not just the companies, but the heads of those organizations and the stock owners, the stockholders, so that the stockholders are going to make sure that truth is being reported. That's where this whole thing stops. That's where this misinformation campaign stops, and the world can then truly get back on the fair, even playing field, so that people like you with a message about self-improvement and empowerment and giving people knowledge, and people like me that are trying to just let people know, empowering them with knowledge so that they can live a healthier life, so that they can understand that the more important thing that you need to be aware of if you don't want cancer is how you eat and how you drink and what you breathe and how you live your life and your thought process, not your freaking genetic code that has nothing to do with it, but that the mainstream media has pushed the agenda and created the genome. The whole freaking genome thing has been another misinformation campaign. And if you'll allow me, I just want to, because they're going to take this out of context and say that Buttar has lost his mind. He's talking about the genome means nothing. If you'll indulge me,
please.
Earthworm has 20,000 genes. The human system has 20,000 genes, but we have over 100,000 known proteins. We have more that we haven't elucidated, we haven't discovered yet, but there's 100,000 proteins. And the genomic model is that a gene defines a protein. Yet if we have 100,000 proteins, then how can 20,000 genes define 100,000 proteins? And the answer is they don't. One gene, depending on how it expresses itself, can define many, many proteins. And that's why the term epigenetics is so important. That's basically the philosophy that my friend Bruce Lipton, who impacted my career in a massive way 17 years ago, because I was getting all these results. I didn't understand how I was getting these results. And then I listened to a bootleg copy of Bruce's work and realized, oh my God, that's what I'm doing. I'm just changing the signal. I'm changing the environment. I'm changing the external environment to a certain level, but I'm changing the body's internal environment, causing the gene to express differently because the signal that I'm giving the gene is different. That's why the proteins that are being expressed now are different proteins and the people get healthy. Not having your breast amputated because of the BRCA gene, that's the most idiotic thing. Again, misinformation. The campaign of misinformation to the public, to the world's global economy, has been over and over the same thing, Brian. They are messing with people's lives. When you make a mistake, it may be one thing. When doctors make a mistake, people die. And they have created and perpetrated mistake after mistake. And they should be held criminally responsible, not legally, not financially,